Hey, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sakal Prajapati, and in this video, I will be talking about how to read and write a XML file in PySpark using Databricks. So, before I go to the video, I would like to introduce my channel, Geekcoders. Here, I upload videos on Azure Data Factory, Azure Databricks, SQL, Python, and so on. So, if you haven't watched my videos, you can go and watch it out so that everyone will get benefited. Now, let me go back to my Databricks Community Edition. Here you can see we have one XML file and I have loaded in this TPFS location and the data look like this. If you can see here, we have these tags. So we call this is tag. Every open tag has a close tag and every every XML has one root tag that is called that is data here, and then we have a row tags. So this is all the row tag. You can see we all have these row tags, that is record. So if I go back to my notepad, here I have written row tag is used to specify the row tags. Okay, and root tag is used to specify the root tag of the input nested XML. Now if you want to read XML file into a Databricks or PySpark, then what you have to do first, you have to install one library. How to install that? Let me show you. We have this compute option, right? So go to this compute option, select your cluster, go to this library option. Now, since I have already installed this into my cluster, so if you want to install from scratch, then you can click on this install new button, go to Maven option, and here you can pass this coordinates. You can pass this coordinate and note this down that I am using 10.5 runtime. Okay. If you are using any other runtime, then you have to change this version. I hope that is clear to you guys. Now let me go back. So once you have installed your library, now I will show you how to read a XML file into this code. So if you can see, this is my path. So let me copy it, and here what I will do, I will write df is equal to spark dot read dot format, and here I will write XML since I am trying to load XML file. Then you can simply write a load function and inside this pass the path and then do df.show. Now you can see right now we have nothing in the data frame. So in order to take the data, we have to define here row tag. So how can you do? You can use option method, and then here you can write down row, not row, root tag, and here our root tag is data, right? And now just run this. Now you can see again it has nothing. It has nothing, right? Because we are not loading anything. We want to load. We want to load what? We want to load rows into it, right? So in order to do that, what we have to do, we have to specify row tag also here, and our row tag is what? Record. Now let me run this. Now you can see we have this attribute underscore id, name, RID, and then we have these columns. If I go above, then you can also see we have this record. In this row we have this id attribute, and then we all have this other tag, right? So yeah, that's what it is loaded here. Now you can also specify a schema here. How do we do that? I have created, okay, let me first import some libraries, that is PySpark dot SQL dot types import star. Now let me run this. If I click on this, then you can see ID is long, name is string, and RID is long type, right? But I do not want this. I want this underscore ID integer type, RID is also integer type, and name is a string type. So if you want to do that, how would you do is you can write here schema is equal to schema and just run this. After running this, you can see we have underscore id is equal to integer because we have defined integer and then string. If you want to change the name, you can change the name also. Now it is done. Now let me use, so now I want to write this data into a location in the XML format. How would you do that? First, I want to select only a specific columns, that is RID, and let me say name. Okay, and I what I will do, I will store this thing into one new data frame. Let me use display. Now, if you can see, we have only two columns, that is RID and name, and I want to store it into the location. So it is simple. I will write df1 dot write, select your mode, whether it is overwrite or append or whatsoever. Then here choose format. Format is what? XML, right? And then here we have to choose, we have to write option, that is root tag, that is data in our case, and choose option row tag and paste it over here. At the last, we have to call this save function, and here we will pass the location. Let me change this demo underscore output so that we will know what is the input file and what is the output file. Now let me run this and we will see the output. Now you can see it got overwritten or it got saved. Now let me just do a %fs head and let me pass this path. Now if you can see, it is showing cannot head a directory. Okay, what is the reason here? Can anyone tell me? Okay, so now let me do one thing. Let me remove this row tag. Now let me run this and let me run this again. You can see still it is showing the same thing. Now let me remove this and let me run it again. So if I go down, then you can see it is showing cannot head a directory. Uh, okay, okay. So I'm doing some mistake here. So what I have to do here, just write like this. And after that, okay, after that, if I go to my data option over here, go to create table, go to dbfs, right? And if I go to file store, tables, then you can see we have one part file, that is part, then trailing zeros. So let me copy this and then we will see the output. Now you can see we have this data. But right now I haven't used option row tag and root tag, right? So it is showing like this. So suppose you are giving this file to your downstream users and they want to load this into their system. But by you can see I haven't given any root tag and row tag. So what it has done is that it mentioned rows by default as a root tag and row as a row tag. If you want to change it, you can change it by writing this. Why we are writing? Because downstream user will understand the type of data you are providing to them. If you give any name over there, then they will not understand, right? What does it mean? So I have given here a row record because, so if I am seeing this, then I can understand, okay, this is the record, this is the record, and this is the record data, something like that. Okay, this is the record data, something like that. If you don't provide these root tag and row tag, then user, downstream user may get confused what he has to read or what he has to take. So that is the first part I have told you. Now we have another XML, that is demo underscore hyphen 2. Okay, that is not found. Let me check demo hyphen. Okay, demo underscore. Now if I run this, then you can see we have this data. Now I am saying I want to, it is has some multiple tags. So let me read this. First I will change here the file, and then you can see this is the root tag and book is the row tag. So same thing I will write it down there. Catalog and row tag is book and change underscore to. Schema is something different, so I will not use schema here. And let me remove this and let me just comment this right wala thing. Now let me run this. Now if I run this, then you can see we have underscore id attribute, and then we have author, description, generic, price, published dates, title, and so on. These many columns we have it. Correct? Now if you can see author, you can see this author having the first name and the last name, right, with comma separated. What you want to do is that we want to segregate these things and then we have to store into the XML format. Then what would you do? So it's simple. What I will do, I will write, I will create one new data frame, that is df1, and here I will write df select. I will select all these columns. Okay, let me write like this. And you can do the same thing using Spark SQL also. It is up to us what we need to use, whether PySpark, Python code, or the SQL code. That is done. Here I will introduce one more column, that is with the help of with column, and here I will write one name, that is, let's say, first underscore name, and comma. I will use df dot author right? And I will use here split function. Now let me show you df1 output. It is not defined. So let me write from pyspark.sql.functions import star. So, okay, let me write only split. Okay, I have done a small mistake. I have to use here author also. And then let me run this. Now you can see we have description, generic price, publisher, title, author, and then we have a first name called Gambardella. So actually it is the last name. And with this, what I will do, I will write it down again, right? And this is my first name, and the index of first name will be 1. That is done. After that, what I will do, I will drop df dot author column because I do not need that. Now let me run this. Now if you can see, it ran fine, and now we have first name Matthew and last name Gambardella, and then came rows, and that author column has been removed automatically. Not automatically, like we have used this drop method. Now I want to store this, so let me use the same thing, and let me just remove these lines for now, and we will see what will be the output. So let me use here demo underscore 2 underscore output. Okay, it's fine. Now let me use this. Let me do one thing. Let me use dbutis.fs.ls. Let me see the exact path. Okay, here also the same path. Let me copy it. Let me paste it. Now you can see we have this rows automatically. It came as a row tag and row as a row tag, and now we have these multiple things. Right, now you can see here first name is given, last name is given. Row tag means again we have a different information present over here, right? And if you want to specify these columns, then you can specify. That doesn't matter. It is up to us how we want to show the data. If I run this again, then it's simple. Just run this. After that, now you can see catalog book. If you want to change these names, you can change it easily. That is not a big deal. So till now, I hope you understood how can we read XML files and how can we write XML files. Now this is simple XML files. Maybe in future I will make a video on nested XML files, and there we need to check the schema and everything. Like we have multiple things in this, and you can see I have used only these options: root tag, and schema also I have used in one of the example. But we have multiple parameters or functions present over here. So I can, like, what you can do, you can go and check the documentation of it, and use those methods or parameter if you want, because this is the basic thing I have told you. And in many of the problem or many of the scenarios, you will use only this. Not every time we don't use very big things. We don't write very big formulas over there, right? So that's it for today's video. I hope you have understood. If you do, do subscribe and share. Thank you.